Hey, Kentucky, welcome back. Now, if you've been watching this show or following the news at all, you know that all the big happenings have been in Frankfort as the legislative session has been going on, and we decided to bring our insider, Joe Sonka, of InsiderLouisville.com. Nobody knows more about what's happening. Joe, thanks for coming on, and has it been as wild as it seems from afar?
Well, when the Republicans won the state house in November, they won that huge majority. Everyone knew that they were pretty much going to be able to pass every conservative bill that they've wanted to for years. The only question was how soon are they going to be able to pass them? And so far, that answer seems to be about 4 days, at least in a lot of cases, especially when it deals with labor unions and abortion rights.
Well, I want to go through a few of them because I think some of them are very important. Let's start with the right to work legislation. I had thought that it was a big part of what they wanted to do, but I was surprised it was House Bill 1, that it seemed to be the top priority. There was obviously the confrontation between the union workers and Matt Bevin. Are you surprised it pushed through like this, and sort of what does it mean?
Not at all surprised. Republicans for years have wanted to pass a right to work bill, and they did so in quick order. It was second only, I think, to one of the abortion bills that they passed. But there's absolutely no doubt that large business groups and Republicans have wanted to pass that for years, thinking it's going to improve the economic climate in Kentucky.
Well, how do they think that's going to happen? I mean, for people who don't know, it essentially keeps union members from having to pay dues, and that usually ends up weakening or in some cases crippling unions. What is their argument for why this will help the state?
Well, they say that there are a lot of large companies that would be locating in Kentucky, except for the fact that Kentucky is not a right-to-work state. Kentucky is the last state in the South to become a right-to-work state once this passes. So their feeling is that these large companies don't want to come into Kentucky because I guess there's some fear that their factory or their plant is going to unionize, and they would like a situation where the workers don't have to pay into the union.
Do you believe that to be true? I mean, I hear them say that, but do you believe that there are these companies that will magically show up if the right to work legislation is there?
Well, the debate over right to work laws are whether it increases employment, decreases employment. And there's arguments to be made on both sides. A state like Tennessee has seen faster job growth with right to work. But another factor that you have to that plays into this is that in right to work state, wages are lowering at a faster rate than states that are not right to work. So it's kind of a trade-off. Many people view it as you might have more jobs with right to work, but the wages are also going to be suppressed because there's less unions to force employers to keep wages high.
Now, they also are making the argument that they're going to prohibit unions, or trying to pass a bill to prohibit unions from contributing to political campaigns. It's hard for me to see. Bevin argues he's for right to work because of choice, and then he takes away the choice of contributing to campaigns. Do you think that passes?
Yes, they pass anything they want, Matt. That's 2017 in Kentucky, but probably won't have a bill to force business PACs to have all of their owners or employees to have a say in whether they're contributing to a political party or candidate.
All right, let's go on to another one, this Senate Bill 12, which is the U of L reorganization. They passed that today out of committee. It's expected tomorrow to pass both chambers and get signed. And it's going to essentially take out the U of L board, let Matt Bevin put in his own board this time. Do you believe that the accreditation of U of L really is at stake when that passes?
Well, if you listen to the actual president of SACS, yes, it is at stake. The Senate President Robert Stivers, was saying today that this is totally outlandish to say that U of L's accreditation is at risk here, when the president of SACS is saying, well, actually, if you make the wrong move, yes, it is at stake here. So this is a large, complicated issue, and there are a lot of Democrats and people at U of L, the student body president, saying, why don't we wait a week? Let's see when SACS gives us the reform response next week, and it lays out the steps that we have to take, what this legislation could actually do in terms of lifting U of L out of its probation or leading to its accreditation being lost in December. So they want to wait. Republicans are pushing ahead. It looks like it's going to be past Saturday, and then we'll have to wait and see what the accrediting agency, how the accrediting agency responds to that.
So why don't they wait a week? I mean, they're already going to be in session. I sort of don't understand. It may be the case that what they do is fine, and it may be that it's not. They're going to find out in a week. Why not wait a week?
Because they want the current board of trustees there. They want it out, and they want a new board of trustees where Matt Bevin can appoint all of the members and start making decisions.
But can't they just wait one more week to find that out? Or is it one of these things that they're worried Sachs will say not to do it, and they want to go ahead and have done it, and sort of it's like a, I don't know, it's a showdown at the OK Corral?
Yeah, I don't really understand it fully. If the board is abolished and there's a new board created with 7 members, it can initiate a search for a new president. But on the other hand, if Bevin was to appoint 2 racial minorities to the current board, which he promised to do 10 months ago, then they could start that presidential search right away too.
Yeah, it's a bizarre back and forth. Let me ask you one more thing. The abortion bills that have been passed, as I understand it, it bans abortions after 20 months and another that requires an ultrasound. Am I correct that those are the 2?
Yes.
And I know there was some protest, but not a shock those passed. How quickly do they go into effect?
Well, they're emergency bills. They will go into effect right away. Other states have passed similar bills and have been struck down in the court. So it's unlikely, many think that it's unlikely that they'll actually go into effect for very long. But they're certainly going to pass tomorrow, and then it'll be up to the courts to strike it down or uphold it.
Last question. Next week, we hope to have the House Speaker, Jeff Hoover, here on the show. He's agreed to come on. So one of the things he said at the beginning of the session was, I think correctly, that for many decades, the Democrats have sort of said to Republicans, you don't really get to be part of this process. They've kind of controlled everything. And he said, we're going to reverse it. Now, those in the minority party will also be able to be part of this. Do you think in week 1 they've done that?
Well, I think to the victors go the spoils, and Democrats ran the House that way for almost 100 years. And I think it would be a little naive to think that Republicans wouldn't give them a bit of their own medicine. So I think Frankfort will look the same. It's just a matter of which party's in charge.
A little turnabout is fair play. Last question. You like to do political analysis. In the end, do you think that that sort of what's happened here will have any effect on the popularity of Matt Bevin as governor? Do you think it'll make him more popular, less popular? It won't matter. What do you think? Do you think people are engaged in what's happening or not?
I think it all depends on the lives of Kentuckians. If they see a dramatic improvement in their life, then you're going to see Matt Bevin become more and more popular. If Republicans are in charge and everything starts going down the drain, they lose their health care, they lose their job, their wages go down, then that's a different story where you might see a potential for Democrats to make a comeback, where Republicans start losing power. But I think we're not going to really know the answer to that for maybe a year or 2.
Like in the Clinton years, I guess it's all about the economy, right? Ultimately, that'll make the decision. Joe Sonka, Insider Louisville, thank you very much for taking the time to do this, and good luck with the continued goings-on in Frankfort.